Hi guys, Miss Supernova here. So I have been vacant from YouTube for almost a month now, and I kept telling myself whether or not I should make this video where I explained why I was gone. I think I'm going to do a story time where I talk about it, because I think that you guys deserve to know, and the people who do actually pay attention to my channel and who like it deserve to know where the heck I've been, because I have been vacant. Like, I still go on YouTube and stuff, but some things happen, so this is gonna be probably the most serious story time I ever tell, and you guys are probably gonna cry. I'm probably gonna cry, but it's gonna be a long one, and just bear with me. It's gonna be long and it's gonna be emotional. But you guys deserve to know the truth, and I've fought myself whether I should make this video because really nobody knows about what happened. So we're just gonna kind of start from the beginning. So February 28th was a really hard day. I'm not really gonna give a lot of details, but there was a lot of fighting going on with me and my best friend, and I went to see him, and we kind of escalated into fighting, and I went to see him for a very specific reason, and I'm gonna get to that in a little bit. But things were really heavy on my mind, and I had this plan in the back of my head, and I'm pretty sure that you can figure out what that plan is. But I went home, sat and did some research into my sleeping medication to see which one was lethal. I have two. One is an antidepressant that is supposed to just like knock you out, but it wasn't suppressing my dreams. So my doctor took me off that, but I kept the pills, and then started me on this new stuff that I'm taking now. That's basically an ADHD medication. The stuff that I took is called Elavil, and it was a small dose, just 1 milligram, but it's really lethal if you overdose on it. And that night I decided to kill myself. And I'd been planning for a long time, actually. I had been planning to come back home, which is where I am now. I know I'm in a different location. I'm not living with Jake anymore. I'm back home. But I decided that night that it was my time to die, that this was it. Like, I'd hit that point where I couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't wait to get back home. Everything got too much, and I cracked. And I know this is heavy, and I know that you guys don't want to hear this, but I've always had a plan in my head of how I want to do it since I started becoming suicidal. It's always been a knife to the heart. It's always been the plan, but that's not what happened. I decided that was too cruel and graphic for my best friend's mom, because I was there when it happened, and I thought that it was cruel for her to find just blood everywhere and my dead body. I thought pills was compassionate, I guess, that it was something that, Elavil, it's supposed to kind of calm you down more than anything, but if you overdose on it, it basically slows your heart, your body shuts down, you go into a coma, and then your heart just stops beating. Really, in an ironic sense, you go to sleep on a sleeping pill, and this was my choice. I had a suicide attempt back just before Christmas, and Jake is the only person that I've ever told about it. I'm not proud of it, but after that, things just spiraled, and I cracked. And I decided, because I called my mom the night before to see if I could perhaps come home, and just cried and asked her if her life was better without me. Not really meaning like, is life better now that I've moved out, but like, would life be better if I was dead? And obviously she didn't know that. Like, she didn't know that I was planning this. But I messaged Jake, and I'm like, I love you. And he says, I love you too. And was just like, I don't understand you, like, you clearly want to be saved, so I'm gonna ask you again, like, what do you want me to do? And I thought to myself, there's nothing you can do. I've made up my mind. And the night before was when we'd gotten into a fight on Skype, and I'm not blaming him. I'm not blaming anybody for this. It's just, I'm telling you what happened. And we got into a huge fight, and I kind of blamed him. Well, I didn't kind of, I did. I told him that he was one of the reasons that I wanted to die. And he hung up on me, and I just sat and cried the entire night, and finally decided I can't do this anymore. I'm gonna do this. And we were talking and everything, and I said it was too late, and he goes, you know, it's only too late because you say it is, like, you don't have to go back home. And I mean, he knew that I was going home to do this. Like, he knew that I wanted to kill myself. I thought about how I would do it, and trains come through all the time. But I told myself I couldn't hurt someone like that. And you're probably asking, well, how could you do that to Jake's mom or to your mom? Because they would find you. Pills just seemed more compassionate than me railroaded. I don't recommend looking up people who have killed themselves certain ways. I've done it. I've done a lot of research about suicide. It's not pretty. It's incredibly graphic. It is very disturbing. I could never put another person through that. But I decided pills. And while we were talking, because I had written out my suicide note, crying, doing research of which pill I should take and how many I should take, and went out to borrow his mom's phone because mine was turned off, and I decided to call my mom to say goodbye. And the reason that I went to see Jake was to say goodbye, because I knew in my mind, I was just like, I'm going to die today. This is the day I end my life. And I told him that I overdosed on pills, stopped messaging him. My mom heard my pills. I took 20, which almost killed me. I'm just going to tell you guys the whole story, so just bear with me. It's going to be a long video. But I turned Facebook off, ran outside, and it was raining, and his mom was like, what are you doing? Like, go sit in my car so you don't get wet and stuff. And the pills hit me in a very short period of time. Like, probably within 15 minutes, I was stumbling and could barely walk, thought I was going to pass out on the grass right then and there. And I finally told my mom I overdosed on my sleeping pills. And she was so calm, and that scared me, because I expected her to yell at me and to get so angry, and she didn't. But she kept trying to keep me cognitive, because you pass out, there's a good chance you're gonna die. But she ended up calling 911. Jake ended up calling his mom, freaking out at her, like, telling her to come find me and stuff, because I had overdosed. And him and I have talked a lot about the situation, just because I don't know from his perspective, like, how it felt. But for me, like, time completely slowed down. And his mom came outside to find me and was shouting for me. And I kept telling her, please just let me die. Please just let me die. And I told her this is why I wanted to come back home. This is why Jake was so angry at me. And like 15 people showed up, I think. A bunch of cops and paramedics and everything. And I could barely walk. Like, I'd only had the pills in my system for maybe half an hour. Like, I took them right around 8 o'clock at night. So by about 8:30, like, they'd hit me pretty fucking hard. And, like, my brain was shutting down, like, my body was shutting down. It was very slow motion. And they kept asking, like, how many I took and, like, what I took. I gave them the bottle and everything, my pill bottle. Then they loaded me up into an ambulance and put an IV in my arm, which was kept in my arm for almost the 12 hours that I was almost in ER for 12 hours. They drove me there. My mom came. Jake's mom obviously came. But my mom was the only person allowed to come back and see me. But I was in and out of consciousness the entire time that I was there. Like, my blood pressure, my mom says, just kept dropping. Like, it was low to the point that they were worried I was going to start having seizures. Like, they didn't end up pumping my stomach. They really just kept me on watch that entire time. And it wasn't really scary because I was so sure that I was going to die. And, you know, my mom stayed with me for probably 6 hours in the hospital, just, like, checking on me, like, frantically in the lobby and stuff. Like, she waited for probably an hour and a half, and nobody would tell her, like, how I was doing. Like, nobody updated her. And I don't really remember a lot that happened after I got to the hospital because I was in and out of consciousness. Like, I couldn't physically stay awake. Like, when you're really tired, you can most of the time control it, like, but I couldn't. Like, I literally would pass out. Which, I overdosed on sleeping pills. Like, what else can you really expect? But I asked myself, was there at a point where I maybe flatlined instead of just, like, went unconscious? And no, I didn't. I ended up surviving, but my blood pressure was so low that I should be dead right now. My mom couldn't quite remember what the number was, but it was not healthy. Like, the bottom number was, I think, she said, like, 50-ish. Like, it was scary low. Like, you're probably gonna die. I didn't end up having any seizures. I was dehydrated to all fucking hell. I was not really cognitive. Like, I really don't remember anything from the time I got to the hospital to when they released me. They ended up, I didn't finally leave the hospital. Like, I got to the hospital probably like 9 p.m. I didn't leave until 5:30 in the morning. Like, I was in the hospital for a really long time. And the pills had still not really worked out of my system, but I was much better. And they transported me to a psych ward called Oaklawn, which I have never heard of. I was under the impression I was going to go back to Pine Rest, and I was just like, no, that is the worst possible thing that you can do to me. Like, maybe in the 6 years since I was there, maybe it's a lot better, but that is the worst thing for me. I do not want, because they put me on so many different types of medication, and none of them helped me at all. Like, none of them were good. It was like trial and error, rather than like, this is what is wrong with you. We're going to put you on this specific medication. Like, if you have anxiety, they'll put you on a specific type of medication, but that's not what they did. They just trial and errored, and it was awful, and I was so isolated. They forced me to eat. Like, I physically could not eat. I don't know how this is a hard concept, but a lot of people who are depressed, you know, some people overeat, but there are a lot of people who don't eat at all. Like, they cannot physically eat. And if you force someone to eat, they're probably just gonna get sick. Like, it was a horrible place. Like, I felt like I was in prison. Which might sound dramatic, but I've talked to a lot of people who have gone there, and they say kind of the same thing. And I woke up, because I slept for quite a while when I got to the psych ward. And I just woke up and had a panic attack because I was like, why am I still fucking here? This was not supposed to happen. I was supposed to die. And I was never going to tell Jake or my mom that I overdosed. I was just going to die peacefully. But my mom red flags. My mom's not stupid, she knows me very well. And Jake just like, I wasn't expecting him to respond because he was getting ready for work, so. This is me, I thought I was gonna just go peacefully, and that's not what happened. So I'm thankful for my mom, because without her I would be dead right now. But this place, like, was the best thing to ever happen to me. They got me on the right medication. They started me on Zoloft. I'm on 100 milligrams right now, which it's mostly for, like, major depressive disorder, like not PTSD, I don't think. I think so, I don't know, but, like, obsessive compulsive disorder, like, anxiety, panic disorder, like, it's for the really big problems that generalized illnesses more than anything. And I was officially diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, which I might make a story time about that just because it's an important video, but they were really angry. Like, the psychiatrist was really angry that nobody had diagnosed me, that these problems were very clear, that this is what I had, and why nobody was doing anything. Like, I've been in and out of therapy several times, and I brought up maybe I have a personality disorder, I think 2 years ago when I did therapy, when I had a suicide attempt, and I don't know, it's very frustrating that I wasn't listened to, that I was told I was being over dramatic, and that I was told, why do you have to have something wrong with you? The thing is, it wasn't me wanting to be like, oh, this is what I have, just to have something. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that simple. I wanted to know what was wrong with me, because something was wrong with me, something is wrong with me, and I needed that chemical balance. I needed that stability. And when nobody listens to you, even professionals, even psychiatrists who I've seen, you can't do anything. Like, you can't just go up to the counter and be like, can I have an anxiety medication? Like, it has to be prescribed to you by a medical professional. But I'm thinking about asking if I can move my dosage up, just because I think I want a little bit more stability. Like, it's so good. It doesn't make me tired. It doesn't make me overeat. It doesn't make me really not eat. Like, really all it does is kind of like get everything mentally and emotionally in a balance. I'm not overthinking half as much, which, when you have very, very severe anxiety, and then you have panic attacks, and then you have really bad depression and suicidal thoughts all jumbled into one thing, plus, you know, sexual abuse, trauma, and then, like, trauma from losing a parent to suicide, everything kind of just overwhelms you, and that's why I turned to cutting. And a lot of people, you know, cutting escalated into this. I knew that the moment I started cutting again, it would be detrimental to my health, and I was right, and nobody was listening to me. I was crying out for help, and February 28th, I almost died. I almost successfully killed myself, and I always said the next time I do it wouldn't be an attempt, it would be a success, and I was this close to dying. I scraped noses with death. Like, I met face to face with death and almost died. And I'm not exaggerating. Like, I wish that I was. Like, it's not a made up story. Like, a month ago, I almost died. And that's why I was gone. I was in a psych ward for a week. I was in ER for almost 12 hours, dying on the brink of death from an overdose. And I took a break from social media, because that's not the main focus. I might read you guys my journal out loud just so that you can know what happened to me, because I think it would be beneficial. I really think that it would. But I am very thankful, because so many things could have happened. My mom could have been, you know, out working late, would have never answered her phone. She could have been drunk and either not answered or like started shouting at me or just hung up on me and not believed me, and I'd be dead. Not that Jake is a bad person, but like my mom's instinct was 911. I'm not gonna fucking play with this. Like, my mom heard pills, so she was just like, I'm not gonna risk this. I am not gonna bury my child. And I know that I have talked a lot about problems with my mother. I have taken down a few of my videos, and I'm sorry if that offends people, but I made a mistake in exploiting people, thinking I was doing the right thing by like raising awareness, when in reality I was just hurting people. But I don't know, I might take a break from YouTube for a little while, just because it's not my primary focus, if I'm honest. Like, I love YouTube and I love making videos, but that's not what my focus is. My focus is on getting better. I almost died a month ago, and a lot has happened to me. Like, what can happen to a person in like a year could happen to me in a month. Like, it's crazy how much time affects me in such a short period of time. But I think I'll record me just reading you my journal, because I think it's necessary so that you guys know what happened to me. It's kind of long. I wrote, 43 pages while I was there for the week. I wrote a lot in a very short period of time. It was such a good place. If you're ever suffering where I was, my lesson to you, please reach out for help. Like, I was just starting therapy when this happened. Like, I was supposed to see my therapist like the next Monday, and I ended up not. I ended up almost in a coffin. But don't let it get that bad, because I'm obviously meant to be here, and I realize that now. I really thought to myself that the world would be better without me. And nobody knew about this. Like, there's maybe 5 people. I mean, there's people in my family just because my mom told them. Like, my grandparents and my sister know. Obviously my little brother knows because he was in ER with my mom. Obviously Jake and his mom know. My mom's boyfriend knows. But that's really it. I have not told anyone else. I've kept it to myself. I've kind of just brushed it off that I don't want to talk about it, because it's such a sad thing that I'm lucky that I get the chance to tell you guys what happened rather than I'm just dead. You guys never know what happened, because nobody would be able to continue my YouTube career for me. I think it would be too heartbreaking, but that was a story time about the day I almost died a month ago. Almost killed myself. And if you're ever hurting, reach out for help. Like, I'm lucky that my mom was there. Not that Jake is a bad person by any means. I mean, we've talked about why he didn't call 911. I mean, he knew where I was, but not everyone has what I did. Not everyone has just that one person. Most people who kill themselves have nobody, and they're dead and nobody finds out for a long time. They don't tell anyone. If I hadn't told that I had overdosed, I would be dead right now. So my lesson is just to reach out and get help. It gets better. It sounds cliche and stupid, and I didn't even believe it myself. I literally got to the point where I was this close to dying. I almost died in ER. But I am still alive, because God clearly needs me here. And I thought that I was doing something Christ-like. I thought that I was dying for other people, to save them, to help them, give them what they need. That's not what the world needs. That's not what the world needs with you either. That's why I'm making this video, because this will be the most helpful video I ever make. And I should be dead. I should have been dead for a month almost. But here I am, still standing. And it's because I'm obviously needed here. And you are too. I promise you are. Please reach out and get help. Please take something good from this video. I didn't make it for no reason. And if you cried, I'm sorry. And I hope you guys learned from this video. And I hope you learned something about me. Because I can't imagine a lot of you know that this would have happened. But I felt I needed to tell you. Try not to worry. I'm much better now. We're gonna have a lot more happy videos coming out sometime soon when I come back to YouTube officially. I just need a little more time to heal. It's been a rough month. I gotta adjust. I gotta go back out in the real world again. I'm a new person and I gotta adjust to it. So that was my emotional story time. I don't really know what else to say, but I'll try to be back to YouTube soon. I'll let this video sit with you guys for a little while. Feel free to message me. I'm much more okay with talking now, obviously. But I will see you guys in whatever video I make next. Maybe a Top 10 Tuesday, maybe another Fashion and Friday. I don't know yet. I might make story time about meeting Jake. I already have that made, but I haven't uploaded it yet. But I will see you guys in the next video. And remember, you are loved and needed. You really are. I hope that you remember that. Alright, I love you guys. Bye-bye.